Well, hello there, all you amazing people. What is it? Is it fall or what you will call it? And you guys can see I'm going to talk about Gamers Nexus because it's always fun. Before that, little strange intro here, but before that, remember to watch the whole video. I am going to play Devil's Advocate a little bit here because the subject about is Gamers Nexus a hypocrite is about them now. Low-key is like bitching and moaning about Windows 10 is getting out of support and they want to do, as you can see here, Linux benchmark testing and stuff like that, which I have nothing against. It's just the way that they go about it, and they throw in good old Vendel to help them do that. And before, again, you go nuts in the comment section. And like I said before, I am playing Devil's Advocate. I'm taking a stance, that they should not do it and against them, and yes, they are hypocrites, and I will explain why, and it's something I think you all should think about or have in your minds, these kind of questions. I love Gamers Nexus. I've watched them since they started up. Days 2 Cents, Gamers Nexus, Paul's Hardware, Bit was like, I grew up on these guys, okay? They are my heroes. I love them. But I also sometimes like to be like, are they actually on the right track? Are they doing what they think they're doing, or are they just being hypocrites? Because we all are. And because they are these behemoths in the tech industry, nobody really dares goes against them. Like, I'm highly critical about Linus Tech Tips, for example. I don't like his content. I see that there's an audience for it, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people that watch Linus Tech Tips content, they think they are now computer experts, and people like me are the ones that are going to fix the shit that they break. But remember, comment, like, subscribe, and all that, because I'm on a window already here. So I watched the video where they're going to do good old Linux testing. We could have it running in the background. I used to have a Linux channel, and I don't go too much into Linux here, but the problem here is like they're fighting a distribution. They are fighting a distribution that's or going with a distribution that is mainly meant for one thing, and that's running on gaming devices or for gaming. It's not like a overall desktop environment like Arch, Ubuntu, Debian, SUSE, and all of these things, which in my opinion is a problem. To throw in what, in my opinion, what distribution this should be used, I've been using Linux for over 20, god damn it, man, 6-7 years now or something like that. What they should do, not take the best for just gaming, they should take the distribution that are mostly used. In this case, it's probably either Fedora, probably Ubuntu. Because they are going to talk to a broader audience. They're going to appeal to a broader audience. Not everyone is going to download Best Diet or Beast Diet or what the fuck it's called just to game and then reboot back into like Arch, Fedora and stuff like that. Use the most used distribution. That's my viewpoint on that. Satisfy the most customers, as they say. So on and so on. So the hypocritical part here is that the reason why they want to get away from Microsoft, I get that, that's fine. If you don't like what they're doing, that's amazing. And they are citing Copilot. They are citing AI integration, data collection, privacy collection, anti-privacy concerns, and recall. All that is amazing points. But the hypocrisy, is that the word? I can speak English, it's not. You get what I'm coming at here. Anyway, I'm just goofing around. I'm high on caffeine also. Look at Gamers Nexus. On my Linux channel, I had a lot of problems with a lot of Linux users because privacy, online privacy, anti-data collection telemetry is not a OS question. It's not a software, individual software question. It's not like a Microsoft Office question. It's not like a Microsoft Media Player question. It's a lifestyle. You cannot sit and say, I am super duper concerned or super duper a super duper privacy advocate X, Y, and Z or anti this and anti that. If you only are changing your OS or you're going away from Office to LibreOffice and everything else is the same. Because yes, your OS may not collect stuff or spy on you and stuff like that, but everything else does. Case in point. Gamers Nexus, they want to be a privacy, data collection, data telemetry concerned channel. I get that. What are you doing on YouTube? owned by the biggest data collection, anti-consumer, anti-privacy company on earth, Google. Google is the company Microsoft want to be. How many videos have you seen Gamers Nexus bitching and moaning about the privacy concerns, the data collection, the infringements on your fucking privacy that Google is doing daily? Running Android, running Google services. You don't hear that, but if Microsoft does it, not good. Not good, my friends. They are taking away, let's put some arbitrary percents on spying and data collection and stuff like that. Going away from Microsoft, and I don't like what Microsoft is doing. I don't like recall. Recall is the stupidest fucking invention on earth. Don't get me wrong here. Or don't misunderstand me. But even with all of that, if you take Microsoft Windows out of your life, and you're still on all of these other services, Instagram, Android, all the Google products, you may take away 10%, if even that, of the concerns, or remedying 10% of the concerns you should have, or rectifying 10% of the overall problem that you have. Meaning that you went from being 100% spied on, data collection, taking blah blah blah, on to 90%. Is it a step? Yes. Is it an improvement? Yes. You throw in a VPN, congratulations, 87% more or less snooping and less data collection and stuff. And you can do a lot of other things. But the matter of fact, if you do all of the best practices that these experts are telling you to do, you may only get about 85% better than you were before. Because you are on Google. And like, what I'm trying to say here is stop using Google products but have a more positive impact on your privacy, your data collection, and your telemetry than going away from Microsoft. Google is inherently a worse company than Apple, than Microsoft. But Gamers Nexus, duck, love. To me, that's hypocritical. Another thing here is they have a few websites. They actually probably have more than one. They do have more than these that I'm showing. But I'm going to show you the most prominent websites, in my humble opinion. We have the homepage here. I don't know, is this taking data? Because websites can take telemetry. Websites can, user count, not user count, but user hits that's more than likely tied into IP addresses. So every time you look up gamersnexus.net, they probably ping your IP address. They have either your real IP address, or let's say you go through a VPN, but they're still trying to get data from you. There are websites plugins where you can take telemetry for what programs you have open. Hey, for the sake of it, let's go and ask, what AI should we ask? Gemini. What telemetry can a website take from your computer? Let's ask it. Websites collect various forms of telemetry data from your computer primarily through your web browser to understand your behavior, personal context, improve site performance, blah, blah, blah. The data collection generally falls into the following categories: device and system information, IP address, operating system, browser information, screen display information, hardware information, fingerprinting. They can know how many cores you have, how often you run in the workload, mobile information, user activity, behavior data, blah, blah, blah. Like, I will have this standing there a little bit, so you guys can either pause the video or you can read it. Personal information here, if provided. Name, we'll go into that a little later on. So, they could. I don't know if they're doing that. Let me preface this. I don't know if they're doing this, but they are probably taking some data for their websites to gauge user activity. Peak points of interest. So, what articles, blog posts, what things, like, what are you clicking the most on up here? They are using your behavioral data. They are collecting data to show what should we show more of, what should we what should we put more of up on the site? What articles and things are not doing that well? They are collecting telemetry and data about you, but they don't like Microsoft doing it. I will also preface this with data collection, telemetry is inherently not bad, it's how it's being used. But they also say in this video here that he don't like Microsoft having access to all of that data because if it can be misused, it will be misused. So he's saying that if Gamers Nexus have a lot of data about users, they will misuse it. That's from the same video that we are watching down here. not to talk about all the telemetry they are taking from YouTube. What videos to make, what do well, where to put in ads, all... YouTube's probably getting way more information about you as a user, even if you are on a VPN and spoofing your OS and whatnot, than Microsoft is doing. And like he said himself, he don't like it when people have a lot of information, because it can be, if it can be used badly, people will use it badly. AKA, he himself is going to use it badly. Also, remember, I'll preface this again, I don't think he will. I'm playing devil's advocate here. But it's just, to me, a little bit hypocritical to say, I don't like Bob knowing my address, but I'm freely giving it out to Josephine, Amy, blah, 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 everyone else. I'm giving them the key to my fucking door and everything, but Bob can't have it. I don't like Bob. And then I'm making up these scenarios where Bob is a bad dude and will do all these bad things and stuff. That I just don't like Bob having my fucking address. You get what? Like, bad Bob, go away, Bob. But everyone else can come in and have orgies in my fucking apartment. I don't give a fuck. That is the hypocrisy I see in a lot of these privacy advocates. Another thing you also should think about, they have a store that's supplying me like nobody's business. Is there not like a way of getting this like natively into a dark mode? Which I actually need to buy some stuff from, to be honest, because I do want to support them. I love what they're doing a lot. I just want to slap them around a little bit for maybe like make them more aware that privacy and all these things is not just an OS thing, it's a lifestyle. But yeah, go nuts, buy some stuff for their store, support them. They're amazing people. I love their mouse pads and stuff like that. I don't know what the import tax in Denmark is. I'm probably have to sell a kidney to get any of this imported. But data collection, telemetry, they know what sells the best. They know what to restock. Heck, you are signing in. Do I need to say more? We don't like having a Microsoft account to sign into Microsoft, but we are willing to give a smaller company with lesser support, lesser money to rectify things going wrong. Yeah, let's give them all our data. Not a company that could help us out if we got problems, or pay us for things if we got problems. Another thing that I find really, really interesting here is there's no GDPR. I don't think they can operate in Europe or sell to Europe without a private GDPR. And that basically is a complicated mess, but it basically means that the one you should care about if you're in the EU, anyone that takes your data or require you to log in needs to justify it, or need to have a justification that holds up in court why we are collecting your username, your address, your day of birth. Why do we need this to operate? They need to be able to justify that in a European court. And however, I, as a consumer of said website, if they store data about me, I should be allowed to get all of the data stored on said website. That's why Microsoft, well, they also do it. That's why on Facebook, for example, you can go in and get all your Facebook data. On Google, there's ways you can get all your Google data. That's because they cannot operate in the European Union if they don't do that. So we can see what they actually are holding. Again, I don't think they are holding that much, but even as much as your email address, according to the European government and the European law and them operating in Europe, they should now, if I sign in and I'll be like, Gaming Jesus, or Jesus Steve, however he wants to be pronounced, just my Lord Jesus, I want to see all the data you have on your servers. He is now obligated to do that. I don't see anywhere here. I just get support. We could go in there. It could be in here. Is the return policy, payment, shipping information? No. They could be exemplary or have like an exemption for that. I don't know what all of the rules are. Just know that if you operate in the EU, you have to. Maybe if you are only selling to EU, so you don't have any physical stores or any physical, let's say, offices in the EU, that may be a different thing. But I do think that if there is a requirement of a login or where they need your data, I still think that the GDPR is in effect if they are going to support Europe. I could be mistaken, but I think that's the case. Like, there's probably some lawyers out there in the world that knows more about it. There is lawyers out there that know more than me about that. But there's nothing here. On Microsoft, I can get all my data. They are required by law. Google is, Facebook is, everyone that basically is operating in the European nation is by law. So he's like, I don't like Microsoft because they intrude more on my private life. And again, paraphrasing here, people with a lot of data can misuse that data. He has data. He don't have a lot, but he has data. He has telemetry. This whole YouTube thing you're watching me on right now, this is telemetry driven. Any content creator on YouTube exists because of telemetry. They know what videos to make, what videos not to make, when to upload, what thumbnails works and don't work. All of this is telemetry that are gathered from user behavior. You. Not personal, but your behavior nonetheless, aka telemetry and data collects. I find it super hypocritical when I see people here, be like, we don't like Microsoft doing it, but it's okay with Google, it's okay with our own websites taking data, and hey, by the way, we should provide you with the data we store, we just don't want to, or we forgot about it. Again, I'm not faulting him or Gamers Nexus as a corporation for not doing it, because the law, again, the GDPR law is really muddy, and in my opinion, to some degree, a little bit batshit crazy. So I don't know specifically if they have to, but I think that it would be a good thing to do. If you are this privacy focused, if you are this transparent with your data, you should want people to be able to get the data you store about them. If he really cares about this, Gamers Nexus as a corporation, these sites should provide, especially this one here where there's a sign-in option, this should provide a way for me delete my account, which that more than likely is. I haven't tried to sign in, but there should also be a way to say, give me everything you store about me, if he really cares about this. And what I feel a lot's going on right now in this vast YouTube world with Microsoft is that they love to hate the big guys, okay? They love to hate the successful people, the big guys, they just love it. Linux is this little underdog. Americans love underdogs, okay? The people love Apple because it's an underdog, probably make more money than Microsoft, but in the operating system space, it's an underdog. So a lot of people actually use Mac just for that reason. And the same with Linux. A lot of people are a Linux fan because it's an underdog. Nothing wrong with that. But don't sit here and tell me that, okay, if it's raining in that specific area over there, it's acidly piss from a fucking dragon. Everything else is like rainbows and unicorns and nectar from the gods, and we should be happy here. Rain is rain, piss is piss, acid is acid. And again, I feel like they're making this big deal out of this, that, oh, bad Microsoft and bad this, and no, we have to do this, and we are kind of forced into now testing for Linux. No, you're not. I installed Windows 11 without Copilot, without any AI, without any requirements, a lot of fucking time during the year. It's if you know just, well, these channels here should know how to do that. Let me put it that way. And they should make videos showcasing you how to do this. I have a video, it's like called Do Your Own Windows Distro or something like that. That teaches you, or showcase your program, that will take away all of that stuff away from you. It will even allow you to make like an offline Windows account. Heck, you can even bypass the whole network testing if you want that. You can even pre-make a user account. It's a massively great free industry tool that you should use if you care about these. He should make videos about that instead of what he's doing right now here. This is fear-mongering. Everyone that drives along this, like Microsoft bad because they are end-of-lifing a version, is fear-mongering. Like I said, I've been around for Linux since the mid-90s. Linux users have done this ever since then. Even Microsoft fanboys have done this ever since then. We hate Windows 10, we love Windows 7. Then Windows 11 comes out. Oh, we hate Windows 11, we love Windows 10. This is the cycle that goes around. It's the joke in the IT industry. Nobody likes the current version of Windows. They prefer the old one until the newer one gets replaced, and that becomes the preferred version. It's been like that ever since Windows was a fucking Barbie in Bill Gates' little testicles, okay? This is nothing new, and the the Linux users have yelled and screamed about the year of the Linux desktop since I think it was 1999. Every year since then was the year of the desktop, okay? Mac users just hop around with their cafe latte and their IPAs and do whatever fucking hipster thing they're doing. Putting, whatever fucking things ahead of actually innovating. Because they want to be the most progressive, whatever is the most politically correct thing to do right now. They care more about that than actually making good products. They just live in their own fucking world. What he is doing here is fearmongering. He is putting fire on something that means nothing. Windows 10 getting out of support means nothing for the tech world. The people that are dealing with this already have plans. Well, if they know IT or have any fucking inclination about how to do proper IT, they would have like a plan in motion, tested and ready to go years ago, or at least a year ago. They know exactly what to do. Stick with it, because you can still use Windows 10, it's still getting security updates. You can still deal with it. Or you can buy extended support if it's really needed. Or you do like me. You take away the bullshit you don't need from Windows 11 and install it on fucking 4GB of RAM computers with a 6th gen Intel CPU. I'm a fucking stupid nobody. These supposedly know what the fuck they're doing. I'm surprised Vendel has never talked about this, or at least as far as I know, how to customize your Windows ISO to actually make it so it can be used however and with whatever you want. Take away all the bullshit telemetry, all the knickknacks you don't want. Why are these people that are supposedly telling you about the IT industry and how, professionals are doing it, why are they not talking about it? Maybe it's because they are not professionals. Vendel is, by the way, but this is about Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus, Jay's 2 Cents, Bitwit, Paul's Hardware, Linus Tech Tips. They are provider of the 101 introduction to technology. You won't get a PhD master's degree watching their videos, but people think they are. Jay's 2 Cents did some Linux gaming thing and he got some mixed results and whatnot. He's not a Linux expert. None of them are. He's not even like, he's a benchmarking expert. Gamers Nexus is a hardware testing expert. That don't mean they can install Windows. Let's just know they know how to test hardware. Linus Tech Tip, Bitwit, Paul's Hardware, Gamers Nexus, they are hardware testers. They know how to test hardware. That's it. That's their expertise. Managing setting up corporations of software and dive into like Azure Active Directory and all that fucking shit. They probably don't even know what those words means. But when you're then making a video that you should be afraid of an administrative thing that is Windows 10 going out of support, and then now we are forced to do Linux. That's super hypocritical. It's super fear-mongering the world, which they should not be. Instead, like what they should do, this is how they should have done a video, but they're probably not getting that many views, to be honest. They should just have been like, okay, we have seen an increase in Linux gaming, we are going to support Linux gaming benchmarking. Amazing, fine, chef kiss, more Gamers Nexus cheeses to the world. Amazing. And then they should be like, we know there's a lot of people that are concerned about this whole Windows 10 thing. Here are ways to circumvent that. Here you can make your own Windows ISO. Here's how you can doing an install. They've done Jay's 2 Cents and other people showcase this a little bit, where they show how to bypass certain things during the install by using the out-of-the-box experience, by going into the terminal and putting some command. Or they showcase tools, at least Jay's 2 Cents have done it, showcase tools that can remove Copilot, telemetry, using crisis text. Chris Titus text removal tool, which I don't personally like that tool. There are other tools, in my opinion, that do it better. But use whatever you want at your own discretion. I really don't give a fuck. That is what he should have done. He should have showcased how to deal with it, instead of being like, oh, I'm so afraid of Windows and telemetry and data collection, and while being on YouTube using Google services that do a lot of that fucking crazy shit. having a website that I don't know what they are taking of statistics. Nowhere can I find easily available where it says this is the statistic that we are taking or not taking anyone whatsoever, which he should have up there if he's a privacy data collection concerned company. The same here. I want to be able to withdraw my data from your site. I want to be able to see what you are storing, why you are storing it, etc., etc., etc. He is not doing any of the best practices a good privacy telemetry concerned company should do some places by law. He's not doing the bare minimum, but he's bitching and moaning about Microsoft doing the same thing, like taking data and allow you to remove it and allow you to get it. If you know how to do that, you go into your Microsoft account and you should be able to get said data. As far as I know, I have not tested it myself. Maybe you should make a video about that. So it's like a little bit like this. I know Microsoft are gathering more data than Gamers Nexus is. I get that. But it's a little bit like, we don't like you doing it, but it's okay if we take telemetry. It's okay if we take data from our users. It's okay if we require a logon. We don't want Microsoft to require a logon to log into Windows, which Microsoft has, like macOS, you have to have had like an Apple account to log into macOS. God knows how many years, probably close to a decade now. Nobody bits and moan about that. This is why I had to withdraw from the other channel, my Linux channel, is that I see a lot of like, we don't like you doing it, but it's okay if we doing kind of mentality. And I get this a little bit from Gamers Nexus, like lately when he's making videos like this, where he's bitching and moaning at someone, but he's doing the exact same shit. Maybe not to the same degree, but he's still doing the same shit. Or he's supporting other companies that do it worse. You know, the whole bitching and moaning between Linus Tech Tips and him, they were both fucking grown as adults. Yes, both of them made a little bit of mistakes, but they were acting like fucking toddlers. They were bitching and moaning and fighting each other who dad has the biggest penis. It was meaningless bull. Oh, you're not doing it right. No, you're not doing it right. No, you're not doing it right. Let's just say nobody fucking do it right. Even to this day, nobody's doing benchmarking right. It's such a fucking intricate and hard thing to do. All we are doing and all we are getting is the best tools that are available at this time to get an idea of how things are operating. And they are quite good, but they are not the best. You get what I'm coming at here. So is Gamers Nexus a hypocrite? I will say yes, but again, we are all hypocrite. And I feel it's healthy as a fan of anything in this world to sometimes sit down and play devil's advocate. And see, I am now going to debate like I am pro what they are against and see if I can take down and dismantle their arguments. Because if by doing that you figure out if they have good arguments, if it's actually viable what they're saying, or if they are driven by confirmation bias, wants and needs, which we all are. Again, that's also why, you know, when people go to court, you don't just listen to one side, you listen to both the accuser and the defendant. That's why when you're hearing about all of this Microsoft shit, you have to also listen to pro-Microsoft people. Then you listen to neutral Microsoft people. Then you listen to Microsoft haters. That's how you get the most informed opinion you can get. It's a lot of work. It's blatantly fucking irritating to listen to people you don't agree with. But it's super healthy. And I do feel that in some instances, I'll not say a lot, but in some instances, a Gamers Nexus, they kind of mix up their mind as a group that this is how we want it, this is how we like it, or this is what we think, and then you try and find things that fits that. Rarely do I see them try to debunk it. So when they had Wendell on here, there are plenty of Microsoft experts in his sphere. Had him in with Wendell, asking why should we not do Linux benchmarking? What is up with this Windows 10 thing? Have he even had a Windows expert in? He probably have sources from inside Windows. Have he had someone from Microsoft working on Windows in there explaining what's going on? No. He had people from other softwares and other people that were specializing in that area in there, but not from the Microsoft side. That is a really, really massive red flag that you should listen to. If you wanted to do proper journalism, you have to take all sides into it. You are not the one that dictates what's right or wrong as a journalist. You're not the one that sets the tone, or you set the tone, but you're not the one that's out there to say, this is how it is, unless you're like a biased journalist or you're you're like, let's say someone did something wrong and you want to highlight it, or you want to, you know, this company has polluting this fucking lake for 10 years. Yeah, then you do it. But in this case, yeah, there should have been a video talking about Windows 10 end of life, what to do, what not to do, etc., etc., etc. Have a Windows expert or a system administrator that works with Windows for fucking X amount of years in with vendors, so they could have a little bit of back and forth. Have you seen this? Is this right? Have someone, he probably have access to someone from Steam. Have someone that knows a little bit about Steam say, how big is fucking Linux gaming? About, let's just say 3%. 3% of, as of October 2025, Linux accounts approximately, let's say 3% of Steam users. That would be really nice to know in that video. Again, there is a lot of biases and hypocrisy going in here. They should have said this in the video. We are now going to spend thousands of dollars trying to cater to 3% of a market. It could go up, it could go down, who fucking knows? This is a gamble, I get that. It's not that I'm against it. It's just the way that they... This was like, it felt a little bit like a hit piece on Microsoft. Condemning them for do something that they themselves do in a lesser degree, but they themselves do. And again, I will say it again, he said himself, if people have access to data, it will be used in the wrong way. That means he has access to data, user data, our data, when we log on to his services. Even our behavioral data from using his services. Is he going to use it in the wrong way? Do this for everything you care about. Everything you are a fan of, once in a while, sit down and become an enemy. How can I take down their arguments? You know what the best thing is? A lot of times you can't take down their arguments. And that's when you know you are or you know that you are somewhat on a decent fucking path. If it's super difficult to take down their arguments and find bullet holes in their arguments, they really have good arguments. A lot of tech YouTubers nowadays is opinions disguised as factual, authoritarian videos. Meaning like, this is what we think, this is what we like, and we are making it in a way that it sounds like we are the authority in this field, so you're going to do the same thing. Because that's what we personally like and think. Would I start to waste in any company I have, like let's say I had it could be candy or whatever the fuck it is. Would I try to spend thousands of dollars for maybe gaining or get into a 3% of the market when I'm already at 97% of the market? I know Mac and all the other like FreeBSDs in there, but you get the idea here. Heck, would I spend thousands of dollars trying to get 3% of a market when I'm already plugged into 90% of the market? Of course I would not. Makes no fucking sense. I would think about it. I would do a little bit here and there and test the water. If the market starts to change, and if I see the market start to change, like, I mean, like, it's 3% today, it's 7% tomorrow, it's 10% in a year, it's 15% in 2 years, then I will start to fucking think about it. This just seems like Gamers Nexus don't like Windows and Microsoft, which I don't either, and they just want an excuse to do this. But their arguments are wrong for doing it. I would have more respect for them to say, you know what, I just don't like Microsoft, I don't trust them. In my opinion, they're the worst company on the earth. I really like Linux. I want to do more Linux content. Then that video will be chef's kiss. Anyway, see you all later. Bye-bye.